What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. So, in this video, I'm going to, discuss, the key thing that courts need in order to shut down Unreal Engine, which is created by Epic Games, the creator of Fortnite. And to be honest, I don't think that the court would rule that Apple can shut down Unreal Engine. I mean, it's not possible for Apple to win that case. Now, however, Fortnite off of iOS and Mac devices, however, the court has ruled that Apple can permanently delete those off of those devices. So, it's not like anybody else has any say in that at all, because it's a court's decision, and whatever a court decides, that's what whatever a court decides is what it is. So technically, there's no buts about, you know, what they decide. It's like, if a court decision is made, then that's the verdict of what is to become of that company, or what the deal is of, you know, whatever. It could be a verdict for, like, criminal activity, you know, whatever a judge says, or whatever the jury decides, is what actually happens. So, there's no way that anybody can bring back Fortnite off of, iOS and Mac OS devices. So, it is what it is. Now, however, on the other hand, you have Epic's, you've got Epic's Unreal Engine, on the other hand. Now, what I want to discuss, what does the court actually need to get the proof that why should Unreal Engine be shut down off of iOS and Mac devices? And why? That's the big question that you need to ask yourself. Why does Unreal Engine deserve to be shut down? And the key thing that the court needs in order to answer that question is evidence. So there's two questions that add up to the why, and it all goes down to evidence. So, what kind of evidence do they need? Well, okay. First off, they need the evidence from Apple on why should the engine that Epic Games uses or has created be used or be shut down. Number one question is, what is the reason that Epic needs to should Apple have the right to shut down Unreal Engine? It's like a book. You know, when a teacher asks you questions about, you know, there are a few questions that they ask you in a book when it involves, like, you know, a plot in stories. They ask you, who are the main characters? What is the setting? And, you know, what is the whole thing about? There's 5 questions that they ask you, that teachers ask you when you read a book, or finish a book. They ask you, who, what, when, where, and why. In court, those questions, same kind of questions, they don't ask you all 5 questions that a teacher would ask you, or her student, his or her student, on what you read. They need to know, what is the purpose of Unreal Engine to be shut down by Apple? Where is the evidence right there that that it should be shut down completely? So, let me just go on more about, you know, the first reason why should the shutdown be made. What is the purpose of shutting down Unreal Engine? What is your issue about wanting to shut down Unreal Engine? That was odd for a second. So, what is the issue that Apple has with Epic Games for wanting to shut down Unreal Engine? Is it because of the revenue issue? Is it because Epic gets all this support from indie developers and get their shares of revenue or whatever from indie companies, and to say that Apple is, like, kind of jealous? Like, is that the whole issue right there? Is that exactly what you plan on telling the court? I mean, like I mentioned in the last video, oh, they're getting their revenue shared, since, you don't get paid anymore because you don't get your revenue shares. So now, all these other indie developed companies need to suffer because you're suffering from not having your revenue share from Epic Games on Fortnite on iOS and Mac devices, so you're just going to attack two things. You've already attacked Fortnite, and you managed to get it off of iOS and Mac devices permanently, and a judge ruled that. So, that's what I have to go on about the what question. The second question that you mostly want to ask yourself is why? And the courts are going to want to know why. Now, as I mentioned, they're not getting, Apple's not getting their shares of revenue from Epic Games. And they shut down Fortnite from the Apple Store. And this affects all Apple platforms, including maybe iPad. So, what is the whole purpose behind as to why should Unreal Engine be shut down? What is the main purpose for shutting it down? I don't clearly see why it should be shut down, other than you don't make your revenue, you don't get revenue shares from Epic Games. So, now, you're going to have these other companies suffer after you shut down Unreal Engine completely. Because if Apple suffers, then every other company should have to suffer, if that's the kind of bad apple you want to be. To me, that is just very cruel of you, Apple. Now let me get back to the why should Unreal Engine be shut down. And this is a question that the courts also need. And before I get into that, as I mentioned, the key thing that courts need is evidence. So say for like a crime, they need to know where did this happen? What was the victim, what time was the victim murdered, stabbed, or killed, or, you know, in some other situation. They ask you a bunch of questions in court before they bring you into court. And well, you can't just go into, you just can't go up to somebody and say like, hey, you owe me something here, and that stuff. So, I'm just gonna go ahead and just sue you anyway, and that stuff. And so, anyway, fork up the money that you have already. And that would be that right there. And you just wouldn't be taken to court. And there'd be no, like, investigating on, you know, why is this person being sued over, or, you know, being taken to court for, you know, any complete crime. You can't just go up and say that I'm taking, I'm doing something that is, going to, you owe me something, fork up your money, or that stuff, or, you know, whatever. There's a being taken to court reason for being taken to court. It needs to be, you need to discuss, well, you want to tell a court or talk with your lawyer and that stuff, and assign, like, a court hearing or whatever on that stuff. Exactly what Epic Games and Apple has had to do on discussing why should Fortnite be shut down from iOS and Android. Now, to be honest, I don't find this whole thing stupid. I mean, Apple really wants to settle something with Epic Games right now, but I don't see why Unreal Engine should be shut down so that Apple can attack these other companies and that stuff if they don't get their revenue shares. That I don't understand. But the court needs to know why should we shut down, or why should we give you the rights to shut down Unreal Engine from Epic Games? Or they could say, well, we're not getting our revenue shares and that stuff from them and that stuff. And we have put out a statement saying that we are going to shut down Fortnite and also Unreal Engine, because Unreal Engine is made by Epic Games. And that being said, everything that is made by Epic and that stuff, we have to shut this company down because they're not giving our revenue shares on our platforms. That Apple probably say, our companies that put apps on our devices and platforms and that stuff owe us the share of revenues and that stuff for putting their titles on our platform. And they share us the money that these companies make and that stuff. We want a share of this. And those companies that don't comply with our rules and that stuff deserve to be shut down. Or at least their apps on phones, like on our Apple phones and Apple platforms, they do not have a right to be on our platform if they don't give us the revenue shares that we deserve. Such as like if you're, I don't know, if you were to buy like V-Bucks off of, from Epic Games, and then half that money that Epic makes would probably have to go to Apple because you bought like V-Bucks off of a Apple phone or Mac, whatever the case is. And then if that company doesn't comply with, you know, the rules and that stuff, then, okay, you may have to face a trial where a company may threaten to try to sue you over something stupid, like revenue shares, or, you know, it can be understandable. But what I don't get is why should we why should other companies have to suffer when the judge rules that or give Apple the permission to take off Unreal Engine and hurt these other companies? Like, I'm sure most companies need to, I'm sure they know Apple's guidelines about having their apps on Apple iPhone, iOS, and Mac, and give them like part of the money that these indie developed companies make. I'm sure every indie developer knows that, and that they need to comply with Apple's rules. Same thing with Google. Part of the money that you make on Google, or part of the money that you make on Google goes to indie companies too. And if there are indie games on Google Play, then Google would get half the money that you pay for. And like V-Bucks here on a Nintendo Switch, that money would go to Epic, and then part of it would go to Nintendo, because Nintendo is the license of all the games that are put on the Nintendo Switch, including third parties. Does that mean they own all the games put on the Nintendo Switch? No, it just means that they have a license for, you know, whichever company uploads a game onto their platform. But anyway, there's a reason why I strongly disagree with shutting down Unreal Engine. I don't think the court will want to make that decision, because like I said, they could face a bunch of criticism from other companies and that stuff. And I don't think the court case, or the court and judges would want to actually deal with that crap from other companies. Anyway, this is Charles Morris. Have a good day. I'll see you all later.